So, you've made your first character in D&D Beyond, but where do you go from there? How do you make use of it as best as you can? The first thing to know is that if you're not sure what something does, click on it. D&D Beyond helpfully includes a vast library of information built directly into your character sheet. One of the most important roles you perform as a player is keeping the momentum of the game going, and the best way to ensure that you do this is by understanding how the game works. After all, a faster pace on the mechanics side frees up time for descriptions, increases immersion, and provides more opportunities for your fellow players to participate. Knowing how to use your character sheet will guarantee that things run smoothly. The top of your character sheet shows the ability scores and modifiers of your character. You might think of each ability score as a measure of your character's raw talent in that area. A 10 or 11 is average, and any number above or below these values reflects this. These values, or ability score modifiers, are determined by the value of the ability score itself. Every even number over 10 increases the modifier by 1, and every odd number below 10 decreases it by 1. So if we expand the table I have here, an 18 would be a +4 and a 20 would be a +5. Your DM will have you make use of these ability scores on a number of occasions, so let's walk through a few of those now. A DM may request a player to make a check as a test of the character's capability to perform a chosen action. Most often these are skill checks based on those listed here. Your ability scores determine how good you are at skills associated with that ability. However, while a high ability score shows natural aptitude, some skills are marked on your sheet to indicate proficiency, which indicates experience or training in that skill. In some cases, a highly proficient character may be better than someone with a natural aptitude but no training. In the case of proficiency, click on the bonus and D&D Beyond will roll the dice and do the math for you. The resulting bonus is a combination of your proficiency and your modifier. The DM will compare the result to a DC, or difficulty class, and let you know whether you succeeded. When you do not have proficiency, you can click on either the bonus or the ability modifier, and receive the same result. In some cases, such as a raw test of strength, there may not be any skill or proficiency associated, and you would use only the ability modifier. A subset of these skill checks are called skill challenges, in cases where the DM or other players may be rolling in competition with you. These are often challenges of the same skill, where you simply roll as normal and whoever has the highest roll wins the challenge. However, there is an exception to this case, and it is fairly common: the case of stealth. During stealth, the DM will roll for the perception of your enemies, while you roll for your stealth skill. Then the competition proceeds as normal. The highest roll wins the challenge. Sometimes the DM won't have you roll at all, and will instead ask for your passive skill. The most common is Wisdom, which D&D Beyond automatically lists here. Your passive skills are determined by 10 plus any bonuses to that skill. So for my human fighter here, I have a proficiency in perception and a wisdom of 12, so a total bonus of +3 for a passive perception of 13. Sometimes you won't have the opportunity for a skill challenge, in the case of combat, traps, or environmental effects, for example. In these instances, your DM will ask for a saving throw. Much like skills, these saving throws are based on your ability modifier for the respective skill. However, the class you choose at level 1 will determine which of these you have proficiency in. When asked, click on the saving throw and the DM will tell you the result, whether you successfully saved or not, and what that means for your character. One last important mechanical feature is advantage and disadvantage. When you have advantage, you roll 2d20s and take the highest result, while with disadvantage, you roll 2d20s and take the lowest. In some cases, your sheet will indicate advantage or disadvantage with a particular check or saving throw. They do this with a symbol of A or D, highlighted in red and green. However, these symbols do not necessarily mean that you will always have advantage or disadvantage. Click on any skill with the symbol and you will see in which instances you have this effect. For instance, a Dark Elf has disadvantage on perception checks in sunlight. The Blood Hunter has advantage for most intelligence checks when they pertain to fiends, fae, or undead exclusively. Knowing which scenarios your character is best at, and those where they may need a little help, will prepare you to better act with the knowledge your character has. With that, you now have a basic introduction to ability scores and the various ways they may be used for saving throws and checks, but we have barely scratched the surface, so next time we'll cover an introduction to combat, how initiative works, your health, armor class, and the actions you can take in a turn. With that said, use this to your advantage, roll well, and I'm done here.